Here from the founder and the CEO of Inbound in Dubai. And the presentation is going to be about post-Korean e-commerce and also general trend and how the industry is going ahead. It's a $7 trillion opportunity. That was estimated by Intel and Strategy Analytics. It's a passenger economy. That could be the trend that's coming out from telematics, connected cars, and other platforms. This is more than Japan and Brazil GDP combined. So we consider everybody here lucky if we manage to grab a buy of this trend. This is estimated to be by 250, so still we have many years ahead. But this is where this, the trend is going on. Okay, if I look at the current industry, for example, we used to have a dot in the map, we used to have the real-time position, static speed alert, and distant travel. This is a basic telematic solution. But when we look at what's happening right now, we have a connected car, we have dynamic speed, we have crash alert, we have infotainment, we also have fuel and carbon dioxide and fault monitoring. We also have driver profiling and behavior. And then we see cars like Tesla and other, most of the 2017 cars, now they have some high level of connectivity that cover many of this area. So if you're moving more than the speed of the road, you get alert. If you're having a fault in the vehicle, you get alert. Most of them, they have infotainment capability, crash alert, also driver profiling and behavior, and many of them, especially electric vehicles, they have fuel, energy, and carbon dioxide measurement as well. So where we head into? Are we heading to vehicle infrastructure, vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to everything? We also, in the middle of assistant driving, autonomous system, we also deploying a lot of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, in order to get the machine or the car to understand the road better, to understand the driver behavior better, to understand what sort of risk that might be lying ahead with, before you encounter that risk. And there are many, if you Google, for example, in Google, you Google Tesla crash prediction through autopilot. You see very interesting points in which Tesla has predicted a crash before it has occurred. And probably this crash is not in the front car, it's done by a car which it's like ahead of 2-3 cars ahead of that of the Tesla car, and the Tesla has been able to react according to that and avoid the crash. And also through adaptive cruise control, line keeping assistant, and park assist. This is all leading us to autonomous vehicles. And then here, the concept of owning a car itself would not be valid anymore. So you've got mobility as a service. So you've got cars that you use when you need. You do not have to keep the car and keep an asset getting depreciated by time. Because the utilization of owning a vehicle, it's very, very fraction in terms of the whole time you're driving this vehicle. So I've come to a local problem that we have in Dubai particularly. And then over the last 6 years, that's our age in this industry, we've been encountering a lot of issues with so many clients. And then most of these issues is like vehicle management, driver management, cost management, time management, order management, maintenance management, and last mile management. Because we do a lot of courier, do a lot of e-commerce and federal post offices. So last mile come into the picture recently because that's very much connected with customer satisfaction. So every customer wants to get his stuff in the proper manner, and most of the problems that lie into the last mile area. Okay, what is our approach? We utilize a core module in Wello. We also utilize web and mobile apps that's available with Wello. Some of them we need to customize, some of them we do white label, but again, it has to fit in within the client requirement. We also do enterprise system integration in terms with Oracle Transportation Manager, other systems, and as Alexi said earlier, this will bring a lot of competitive advantage for many of the integrator here when we integrate with enterprise systems. We also deploy for the last 2 years, we deploy a lot of cognitive analysis. We utilize machine learning, deep learning in order to touch the bottom line. So whenever we look at any client, we look at safety and security, which is a major issue that they want to tackle. We look at utilization and efficiency. We look also at total cost of ownership, because this is something it's not clear for most of the clients. And then when you're running 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 vehicles, then it gets really messy into identifying what is the right total cost of ownership, when to sell this car, because the total cost of ownership is getting really high, when to replace it and to defleet some of the percentage of the vehicle, of the fleet and stuff like that. And then also the return of investment, because right now we feel that whatever we're charging our clients, they are getting 10, 20, 50 times as a return of investment out of the value that we're providing by the services, if it's done in the right way. So fighting, on prices and basically on the price would not help any of the provider. I think adding value is very important, is very crucial. Okay. How do we get this solution, for example, particularly for post and courier and stuff? We get a device that supports the basic features. We get also driver identification. Driver profiling is mandatory in most of the services we provide to the client, and this is done mandatory. So if he introduces himself, then he can start the car. If he does not, then he cannot start. So this helps us into getting an enforcement, knowing that which driver is driving every car at any time. Then another thing is a relay, which is already connected with the driver profiling. So if he's not identified himself, car will not start. And the car ignition sensor, of course, which will show us what is the engine hour, what is the idling time, and stuff like that. And also we introduce the RFID reader, and which we use it for school students. We also use it recently with one of the largest e-commerce companies in order to open the car through the RFID. So these guys, they have the dynamic dispatch, and they wanted trucks to come at night and load the vehicles. So the truck drivers will have an RFID, in which they will bunch it, open the vehicle, put the boxes there, and in the morning the driver will know which boxes he has to deliver. So this will cut the time going from the driver to the hub and coming in. We also use the whole modules that's coming up from Veron, with a lot of emphasis on routing and route optimization. We do utilize routing extensively, especially in school transportation, in e-commerce, and courier as well. We also deploy cognitive analysis, data science, in order to identify for clients what is the impact of the solution on the bottom line. So when we talk about, for example, look at this analysis in 2016, the total operating hours was 312,000, engine hours 63,000, total idling is 21,000, and total movement 41,000. So within this segment, we find 36% idling among the engine hours. And then when we look at the whole utilization is less than, it's just less than 20% for the whole fleet. So if this client is asking their management for more cars, then they will tell them, no, your utilization is below 25%. So you better enhance that utilization instead of asking for more cars, for example. So this will help people get things properly. We do a lot of cognitive analysis, fuel economy, and other stuff, which is really interesting. Identify the right time to exchange the vehicle, for example. We also recently launched our ADAS solution, in which through machine learning and deep learning to identify if the car has moved out of the lane, if the car is approaching a car in front, then it will give some indication. And we also introduce our intelligent vehicle inspection system. This is done now for 2 of the taxi companies in Dubai. And this will physically inspect the car 360-degree, and it will identify through computer vision any discrepancy in the underneath and the grenade around